Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Women in History. You can call me E. Here I highlight a woman who has made a difference in her society, community, or has accomplished something that was very challenging. That can be for good or bad reasons. Today we're looking at the group of women known as Onamusha or Onabugeisha in Japanese history, which translates to woman warrior. So while I was doing research on these warrior women, I realized their history was more extensive than I could have ever imagined. I would have guessed there were only like a handful of these women, maybe 5 or 10 of them, based on what I've seen in media. Now, I live in the United States, I've grown up in the United States, and for the longest time, Asian men and women have been extremely typecast in Hollywood. So Japanese women have always been portrayed as, very gentle, very demure, always wearing a kimono and always pouring tea, like very soft spoken. Now, I know there are women fighters, but in Hollywood, it's always been like Chinese women or other East Asian women, like due to Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and Kung Fu movies. So the fact that there were warrior Japanese women was very surprising and an unexpected discovery on my part. Although, of course, if you live in the country, you know about them, obviously. Um, so, yeah, it was very surprising to learn about these women, and not only that they existed, but that they were also very prominent in feudal Japan. Now, some historians speculate their stories were covered up due to the chaotic political period of the times, but of course, that's not going to fly around here because we're highlighting women in history. So, let's learn some more about the Ona Bugeisha. Women warriors were not a rarity in feudal Japan. The Onamusha lived within a warring culture fraught with political maneuverings, which made traditions of acquiring skills in martial arts, archery, and horse riding necessary. Sengoku battles often took the form of sieges wherein the entire family would fight to defend the castle. So it was necessary to be able to defend your family, children, and yourself. The painting titled Boki Ekotoba, dated in 1351, depicted a woman in armor armed with niigata and bow. A journal record of predominantly female cavalry is noted by Chancellor Toin Kinkada, who stated they originated in Western Japan, which suggests that women from the West were most likely to serve in battle, away from the capital cities. To me, this makes sense, because if you're living in the country, it's all hands on deck, work has to get done, everyone has to contribute, man, woman, and child. And if my home and children are being threatened, you better absolutely believe I'm going to be fighting to the death. Societal expectations be damned. The Onamusha gained prominence during the reign of Empress Jingu. According to the traditional records of ancient Japan, Jingu was the wife of Chue, the 14th sovereign who reigned from 192 AD to 200 AD. After his death, she became regent for her son Ojin. Now, after her husband's death, it is said she donned armor and weaponry and sought revenge against the rebels who had been responsible for her husband's death. Later on, she went on to take charge and lead an invasion of Korea in 200 AD. With Empress Jingu paving the way, the Onabugeisha became more numerous and prominent. They became famous for their iconic weapon, the naginata. This balanced pole arm was used by both men and women. It had a longer reach than a sword, allowing the user to create space on the battlefield and strike their opponent while remaining out of their reach. So she was recognized as the first Onabugeisha in Japan. However, she wasn't the only famous Onabugeisha. That title also belonged to one Tomoe Gozen. One of the most prominent early Onabugeisha, Tomoe Gozen. Now, for historical accuracy's sake, Tomoe, according to my research, the name Tomoe Gozen was not her birth name. She is established as an actual person in Japanese history, but her actual name was not recorded or did not translate throughout history. So it has been accepted that she's been given the title Tomoe Gozen. So that's how Japanese historians refer to her. That's how people during her time referred to her. So that's how we're going to refer to her. In any case, Tomoe Gozen helped the Minamoto rise to prominence during the Ginpei War from 1180 to 1185. The 5-year-long war involved two prominent Japanese clans, the Taira, and Minamoto. Now, another note, we're going to get into more Japanese names now, and my study of Japanese has been very casual and very basic to date, so please bear with me if I mispronounce or have to repronounce these names. It's not from any kind of disrespect. It's just, I'm American. No, not that Americans can't learn Japanese, okay? I just haven't studied long enough to be comfortable with all the pronunciations yet. But go Japan. Gabatte. Gozen belonged to the latter, serving Minamoto no Yoshinaka, better known as Lord Kiso. Gozen's talent on the battlefield saw her given command of 300 samurai, who were believed to also be women. She was described by a contemporary chronicler of her time as follows. Tomoe was especially beautiful, with white skin, long hair, and charming features. She was also a remarkably strong archer, and as a swordswoman, she was a warrior worth 1,000, ready to confront a demon or a god, mounted or on foot. She handled unbroken horses with superb skill. She rode unscathed down perilous descents. Whenever a battle was imminent, Yoshinaka sent her out as his first captain, equipped with strong armor, an oversized sword, and a mighty bow. And she performed more deeds of valor than any of his other warriors. This is from the Tale of Heike, the Chronicle of the Ginpei War. During the Battle of Awazu, Gozen defeated the enemy clan's greatest warrior, Honda no Morishige, decapitating him and presenting the head to her master Yoshinaka. It must be noted, though, that her gender did not go unnoticed, and despite her skill, getting beat by a girl as a man was still considered as something shameful, as most men still consider it today. Nor were Japanese men entirely willing to broadcast the fact a woman was supporting them in their endeavors. Yoshinaka himself said that he did not want her near him if he was mortally wounded in battle. "I shall die in battle," he declared, "or if wounded, take my own life. It must not be said that at the end I had a woman with me." While not much is known about Gozen's life following the war, it's generally accepted that she further paved the way for the Onabugeisha class. For centuries after Tomoe Gozen's reign, female samurai flourished and made up a large part of the Japanese samurai class. Female warriors not only protected villages, but opened schools that taught martial arts and military strategy to young women across the Japanese Empire. In Japan, there were numerous clans scattered across the land. Everyone had samurai warriors, and all of them were open to the Onobu geisha. The last two Onimusha of note we're going to take a look at are Hojo Masako and Nakano Takeko. Hojo Masako was the wife of the first shogun of the Kamakura period, which was from 1185 to 1333, Minamoto no Yoritomo. Not only was she a female samurai, but she also played an essential role in politics. She even was the first Onobu geisha to enter politics. After her husband's death, she became a Buddhist nun, as many samurai widows did, but she still kept up her involvement in politics. Not only that, but she also played a key role in shaping the careers of her two sons, Minamoto no Yorie and Minamoto no Sanetomo. Both went on to become shogun, with Yorie holding the title for 1 year and Sanetomo ruling for 16. Next, let's take a look at Nakano Takeko. Nakano Takeko led a group of samurai women into battle against the forces of the Meiji Empire and died tragically young during the Battle of Aizu at Aizu Wakamatsu Castle. She was famed for her prowess with a naginata. Nakano and her fellow Onobu geisha fought bravely, but they were outnumbered and outgunned by the enemy. Nakano was mortally wounded in the battle, and she is said to have asked her sister to cut off her head so that it would not fall into enemy hands. The Battle of Aizu is considered the last stand of the Onobu geisha, and Nakano Takeko is widely believed to be one of the greatest female samurai warriors. During the Edo period, the peace and stability brought about by the Tokugawa shogunate meant that there were no more major wars for almost 300 years. As a result, the role of the female samurai diminished over time. However, they continue to be revered as symbols of strength and courage. Today, some schools teach the art of Onobu geisha to those interested in learning about Japan's martial heritage. And in more recent times, female samurai have been featured in popular media such as cinema and manga. These depictions often emphasize the Onobu geisha's strength, courage, and determination. Though they are no longer needed for battle, the spirit of the Onobu geisha lives on in contemporary Japanese culture. The female samurai continue to be a source of inspiration for many young women today, including myself. Thank you guys for learning about the Onobu geisha with me. Please note this is just a comprehensive look at their history, as I didn't include all the details for the sake of brevity. There were a few great scholarly articles about these women I found during my research, which I highly recommend reading yourselves. If you would like to support my channel and efforts, please consider a subscribe. Not gonna lie, It's kind of hard to get these videos out because although I am not going to war, I am up at 3 a.m. every day to work out, work, then homeschool my 3 kids, and yeah, it's exhausting. But I really love these stories and I really love challenging myself, so I don't regret it. But till next time, go out, find the warrior in you, and crush it. Love you guys. Peace.